I am back on the vlogosphere, and I'm sorry that I haven't been around for a while, but I only post when I really feel inspired and passionate about what I'm talking about. And recently, God really put it on my heart to share about this particular topic. As you can see, the title of this video is #MarriageGamestrong, Humble and Kind, and I am talking about marriage because in North America, in our culture today, we can't seem to figure it out, like how to make a marriage work. It seems like a lot of people are struggling and failing. It's an epidemic. I know we've probably all heard about how high the divorce rate is, and I want to speak into what I think contributes towards a successful marriage. In saying that, though, I want to tell you what my definition of a successful marriage is. I believe that marriage isn't ultimately about making you happy as an individual, either individual in the marriage. It is to make you holy. And by this, I mean into a better person, a person who is more like Christ. I think even those who are not Christians can agree that Christ was a good person, a person worth being like. And for a Christian such as myself, it is the ultimate image that you want to reflect. Happiness can be an element of marriage, and it is not wrong to want to be happy and to strive for happiness, but if that's all you're looking for, you will be disappointed because it's impossible to be constantly happy, and if you expect that out of your partner, that's something they can't give you. They can't fulfill you in that way. But if you look at marriage as an opportunity to make you holier, then that is an achievable goal. I mean, we will never be perfect, but we can always improve ourselves, become more like Christ. And marriage is the perfect opportunity. It is an institution that's created for this goal, because you and this other person, through like the iron sharpening iron kind of idea, refine each other and change each other and challenge each other towards more than you could have become by yourself. And I'm not saying if you're not married you can't be holy. It's just that marriage, if you look at it, I believe in a proper sense, in a sense that will ultimately fulfill you more. Marriage can like refine you like nothing else can. And now I'm going to go into my first topic, something that I have learned that I think is really crucial to having a successful marriage. And I mean, I am no expert. I don't claim to be. I have only been married for 9 months on Saturday. So I don't know it all. I'm still learning, but what's the point of me learning something if I don't share it? What's the point of me having knowledge if I can't give it to someone else to use also? I have benefited from other people sharing, and I want to help other people too. And the last thing before I talk about my main topic is, you'll notice my title, Humble and Kind, is also the name of a popular song by Tim McGraw. And I'm going to do that with each topic, link it to a song, because I am so built up and spoken to by music. And I want to share great music with you, edifying music, music that has good values, because there's a lot of stupid stuff out there, honestly, and I want to encourage you to listen to the good stuff. And so yeah, if you have time, check out Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw. Okay, so today my topic is going to be communication. Woohoo! I think most people who have been given advice for marriage or just relationships in general probably have heard this term tossed at them. We all have heard about communication. I studied communication, media, and film in school, so I should technically be the expert, but Communication in marriage, I learned, is a lot different than what you might think. It's a lot deeper than just, hey hun, how's your day? How are you feeling? You having a good time? What is your opinion on this? I mean, that's all great stuff. Like, talking in marriage is good. Having conversations, great. But communicating effectively is way more intricate. And I want to explain an element of communication that I have found to be so helpful, but it's hard. And I'll start it in this way. A lot of conflict in marriage, I think, arises from improper communication, in that one person does not either A, tell the other person what they're actually thinking, or B, they tell the other person what they're thinking, but they don't tell them in such a way that it will help anything. They burn their bridges in how they communicate it. And so I view my role in marriage as like I'm the only one who can change anything. Like if I want to see any change in how we relate or any problem we have or anything, it's up to me to change it. It's not up to my husband, because I'm the only person I can change. And so it has to start with you. And so the first element of good communication is humility. And by this I mean sometimes it almost feels better to not communicate effectively with your partner. I mean this, and I'll give an example. Let's say Kyle, my husband, did something that upset me, and I didn't tell him about it, but it was kind of on my mind, and I was kind of letting it stew and boil up inside of me, but I didn't want to bring it up with him because I didn't know how, and I kind of wanted to punish him by giving him a bit of like the silent treatment or a stiff arm, being like, you can't be too close right now because I'm upset, and you have to guess at why and apologize and make it better. That will never get you anywhere. Whether it's you're angry at them, sad, disappointed, confused, or it's something it could have nothing to do with them. You could just have some emotional need that you don't know how to bring up, and you're probably maybe embarrassed that you have it. Ultimately, you actually need to humble yourself and say it. You have to tell them. It is not up to your spouse to read your mind or your subtle implications. As much as you want them to pick up on the fact that you're having a bad day and that you need a hug or an encouraging word or something, they might miss it, and only you can change that. If you want help, you have to ask for it. You have to communicate that to them. And why I say this has to do with humility is that like it's not easy admitting that you need help or that you have a problem, or like it's kind of scary too. It might hit my pride a bit. If I want things to get better, I have to let down my walls and let him in, or her, if you are a him. I think sometimes people think humility is kind of like degrading yourself or putting yourself down, and that's not what I mean. I don't mean like, I don't know, beating yourself up in front of them, like emotionally, like talking yourself down. And no, I just mean pride sometimes stops us from opening up because, you know, you want to cover your wound, you don't want to show it. But I mean the kind of humility where you're willing to let them see the good and the bad inside of you, willing to let them walk with you in whatever you're going through, and vice versa. That's like the first element that I've learned about communication that is really helpful, because like I have a hard time admitting that I have a hard time with things. I'm just like everybody else. I struggle. I'm up, down, all around. I'm a roller coaster. Anybody who knows me well knows that I'm like any given day. On the days where I'm more whoop than whoop, sometimes I need to ask for some support or just tell him that I need something. It's letting him in. And again, like I said at the beginning, I mean, Kyle will never fulfill me completely. So, I mean, lay all your requests to God first. But God works through people, and your spouse is right there. Like, they're like the closest person to you. And so let God use them if that's what He intends. And the second element of good communication that I've learned is the kind side. Because you could, you know, be super honest with someone, and it could really burn a lot of bridges and do a lot of hurt. And that's where you have to use a little prudence and choose your words, speak the truth in love. I've been taught that a great way to approach someone, and this is more in terms of maybe if you're dealing with something that could cause conflict, is to use what's called I statements. So instead of attacking the person, which immediately they're like on the defense and they start like pew, 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 right back at you, instead of attacking them, you can say something like, I feel bad about myself when you comment on this. I feel like I'm not enough because of the way you expressed this. When your mother said this to me, it made me feel like this. And when you say that, it's about you, and it's not in some like egocentric kind of me way. It's making it, it's taking them out of the hot seat and just being like, I have, this affects me and I want you to know it. And then they can kind of come to your level. They can sit side by side with you, and they are more prone to open up themselves and give a little. And like, I know it works with me too. If someone is just like, you're a horrible person, you always do this and you never do that. The always and never things aren't a good idea. And you are so bad at this. I mean, I've rarely had someone come at me quite that hard, but when someone uses kind of strong statements like that, I'm the sort of person that'll be like, and I'll come right back at them, which, I mean, is something I need to work on. But since I know from the other side how it feels, I know that I need to, if I want to foster good communication and understanding and healing and compassion and progression in whatever the situation is, that I need to approach my spouse with kindness, with gentleness, with love, because you can undo a lot of good communication by saying something in harshness. They say, there's a verse, I think it's in Proverbs, where it says, a gentle word turns away wrath, and it's true. You can do so much with just how you phrase something. Quick note here, by gentleness and such, I don't mean sugarcoating. I don't mean lying in order to not hurt them, to be like, you're like super fantastic and it didn't affect me at all, I don't like feel anything, and like I'm super strong and you're like the bestest, like, or like buttering them up. That's not what I mean. I still mean that you're being genuine. It's just you are choosing your words carefully. The great part about effectively communicating with your spouse is that it brings you so much closer together. It puts you on this level of intimacy that is like nothing else. I'm not there yet. I have a lot to learn, but I know a little bit better how to get there. I know more than I knew yesterday or 9 months ago when I first got married, and I plan to grow, and I know sometimes I will fail and I have to be okay with that, but then get up and try again. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Communication isn't easy, but it's worthwhile. It really is. Keep your #marriagegamestrong and communicate with humility and kindness.